Welcome to GNT, your one-stop shop for gaming news and whatever else we want to talk about. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon.
And as always, we're here with Mike off to the side.
Hello!
Today is our Halloween special. We'll be talking about some couple Halloween topics, and then and then we have some tasty treats for the end of the show, which I'm sure we'll enjoy. First, we're going to start off. The first thing is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is coming to mobile devices this November. It was pushed back from March when I think they re-released Super Mario Run, and then they did Fire Emblem Heroes around that time as well. So if you're into Animal Crossing, you want to check that out.
Just sounds dirty. Pocket Camp?
Pocket Camp. Well, now that you mention it, now it does.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know. I saw the Animal Crossing mobile game and I didn't think anything of it. Now that I know the name's Pocket Camp, maybe I'm just a perv. I don't know. That's kind of weird. What do you think, Mike? Pocket Camp.
That. I'll just say
Pocket Camp.
I don't know. I'm not going anywhere near that.
All right. See, I think he agrees. I think he concurs. All right.
I never played any of the Animal Crossing games, so I don't really know what they're about. But
it's like Sims, only you're an animal.
Oh.
Basically, and you live with other animals, essentially.
Mm.
I think I played one for the GameCube. I don't remember, did I? I don't know.
Then we have the NCAA is going to meet to consider supporting varsity eSports. Some in the eSports community, I guess, are against it for some reason. The NACE, which is the National Association of Collegiate Esports. Is that how you say that word?
Yeah.
Collegiate.
Yeah.
Esports has been growing in size and scope. Because they kind of take care of it now, but I think it's a good move. I mean, they've been doing these sports for so long now. They have, the structure for it. They have the avenues to help it grow. So if they want to support it, I'd say go for it.
I don't think that it has a place with the NCAA. I don't see it going through.
Mm-hmm.
My thought process is they have to be able to bring a game that's not violent, I guess.
Yeah.
If they're going to play it at a college level. I mean, there's a lot of gray area there. And so, okay, we don't do like a first-person shooter. Then you do like basketball or baseball or football. And you have those games already in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you're going to generate the e-sport in the college level from that.
Right. Yeah. If they're just going to do the normal sports, video game sports, I agree. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how they feel about it. But yeah, I don't know if I see schools supporting like a Call of Duty or.
I just think for the violence aspect of it.
Yeah.
Not to say that football, hockey don't have a level of violence to them. No. I guess that's a poor comparison because we're definitely talking a different level of violence there. But I guess my thing is they don't as a college, they probably can't promote that level of violence that's in video games. I guess tackling a person's a little different than shooting a person.
A little.
Shoot them! No, you're not going to have that at the college level, I don't think. I just think with the school shootings, and I just don't think it's tasteful either. I think there's a place for that kind of stuff, and I think it's outside of there. I think that what they've got established already with esports and it becoming more mainstream is good, but I think it needs to stay out of that level. And we kind of talked about this last week or the week before at about an Olympic level. And the more I think about it, I think it needs to stay out of that too. I think the way it's going to thrive is without controversy. It needs to be independent. Would it be cool to be an Olympic sport? Sure. But there was a lot of different sports that thought that would be cool. And look what we ended up with. Icing.
That's true.
And that's, where did that get us? Nowhere. But I guess my point is I think it needs to just distance itself from other like colleges and try to just be its own thing. I don't think it needs to piggyback on anything. I think it can. I think Blizzard has faith in it, and I think them building their arena and stuff, I think that's going in the right direction, keeping it separate from the other things, and I'll be anxious to see where they take it. I think they're going in the right direction. I think TBS has their E-League stuff in the right direction. I just think we need to steer clear of the colleges and schools and Olympics and all that stuff. I just don't think that's the place for it.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, if they do build it up on their own, and like you said, they're not relying on schools or the NCAA. I mean, they're on their own. If they can get it strong enough on their own, then
and they can work out the kinks, and they don't have to worry about the restrictions from this group or that group or anything. They can fine tune it themselves and tweak what needs to be tweaked, and not conform to what they want just to get it to work there. You know what I mean? I just see they're just jumping through so many hoops that it just won't be what it needs to be. I guess is what I'm saying.
Next, Cloud9 is recently, they said that they raised $25 million for investors. One investor being the WWE. CFO George Barrios said, "At WWE, we are constantly looking to innovate through our venture portfolio, and eSports is particularly exciting to us." The Cloud9 owner said they will use the money to expand across leagues and outfit training facilities and housing. Main reason I put this on there was I didn't realize that there was, I mean, I know it's been getting better, and we've talked about, big prizes, money prizes for winning these things, but I didn't realize there was that much money in esports. I
mean, that's a lot of money to me and you, but I think across the board, I mean, you look at some of these games like Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, it broke the $1 billion mark shortly after it's released, and that's not including all the money it's made since then and additional sales and microtransactions and stuff. So, I mean, so if you take $25 million out of $1 billion, you're not talking that much, and we're talking $25 billion spread across a number of different investors and whatnot. So, I think in the whole grand scheme of things, I think there is a huge I think there's a huge room to make, to have a lot of prize money and to make it, because it's not, there's not the insurance liabilities as far as safety equipment and regulations and building, the arenas to a certain spec other than building codes for, capacity and stuff. I think that, that it's advantageous in that aspect that more monies can go to the players. So
EA recently closed the studio Visceral Games, creators of Dead Space, and who has been working on a new Star Wars adventure game. They did say that the game will continue to be made through EA Toronto. It was originally supposed to be released in 2019, maybe pushed back because of this. We haven't heard much about this game other than it's a Star Wars game. But I'm glad that it's going to live on through the closing of the studio.
Well, it never bodes well for games. And the fact that it doesn't have a release date of 2019 and it's going to be possibly pushed back further, that just doesn't bode well for it. I mean, here's the thing. The only Star Wars game you have right now that's coming up is Battlefront 2, which, if you weren't a fan of the first one, it's going to be a hard sell to get you to buy the second one. And if you didn't play the first one, you're not much more to the table that's going to entice you. If you weren't enticed the first time to play the first Battlefront, you're probably not going to be tempted to do it this time around. So they really, they need to go back to the days of whenever they had the different Star Wars games where it didn't follow everything, of the major movies and stuff. They need to make a like a spin-off, like a Boba Fett game where he just goes out and bounty hunts. I mean, that's limitless,
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of material outside the movies.
And it would be so much fun. There's just so much room you could have it as an action shooter, or you could put some role-playing mechanics in there. I mean, and it would be its own thing. It wouldn't be, You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like a first-person shooter that's like every other first-person shooter, or a first-person shooter that's trying to harken back to the days that it was good. You know, I don't know. I think that Disney right now is missing out on a lot of opportunities. I think there was a Star Wars 1919 game that was coming out that was supposed to be. I don't know if it was based on bounty hunters or not, or if it was on the Rebellion. But
wasn't that like a bounty hunter game also, or something similar?
I think
there was one for the PS2.
No, this one was right after Disney bought Star Wars. This game got canceled, and I think that was a huge mistake on Disney's part. I think the game would have done very well for them, and I believe it was pretty decent into the production. I think that they had a lot of material there, and I mean, I thought that they were pretty close to, you know, a release, but it's just, I don't know. Like I said, the Battlefront game didn't do it for me. Definitely not going to bother getting the new one that's coming out. With, like I said, with the season that so many good titles are coming out, you really got to be firing on all cylinders. And after you faltered on the first one, it's not enough for me to come back and try to give it a second chance.
It's enough for me, but I agree that they seem to be going outside the main Star Wars movies, movie-wise. I mean, they've been making the Han Solo one coming out soon. It'd be cool to see them do that with the games too. Do some side things with that.
Well, I think that, I mean, it's still Han Solo, which is good. I mean, I like the idea of a Han Solo spinoff, but I think they can expand the universe even more.
Do something completely original.
Yeah, we got Jan, the Northman, says hello. Hello, Jan.
Hello.
So.
Yep. So next we have, there was a trailer released recently announcing that Freddy Krueger will be joining the Dead by Daylight game. I never played the game, but I thought it looked fun. I've watched it a little bit on Twitch, and I might check it out when they release Freddy Krueger. But so if you have that game or into Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, you can check that out.
Yeah, no thank you. I chipped my pants. So I'd have to buy like a 12-pack and that game at the same time. And it's just, who wants to clean up that mess? No one. So.
Jan Northman said, well, Han Solo is God.
Yeah, Han Solo is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, but he's dead. And, you know, I'm not saying that the movie's a bad thing. I'm just saying that in the aspect of Star Wars, there's so much other Star Wars content that they could explore and refreshing the series. I mean, you can't venture too far out of the norm with Han Solo because his past, up until Episode 4, you don't know a lot, but from Episode 4 to what they have that's already established, so you can't get too crazy with the story. And I guess, I mean, he could have some good tales. They could find out how he met Chewie and stuff, or how he got the Falcon.
Yeah.
And, I mean, those would be good stories. But they really have to hit a mark of quality, being that it is Han Solo, that it makes me nervous, because Episode 7 sucked ass because of the third Death Star. So I don't have high hopes. But Rogue One was good. I really liked Rogue One. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean,
yeah, maybe they're just testing the waters. I could see them why they don't want to do something completely original right off the bat. So hopefully these movies do well. Maybe we can see more. Strangely enough, though, the one thing I'm most excited about this movie is to see more Lando Calrissian, which, I mean, he was never a huge character, but for some reason I always liked him in the movie.
He was pretty. I mean, he
had a big part, but you don't see
5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a huge amount of screen time.
And maybe that's why I like him, because you don't know much about him, but yeah.
You say that too much.
Speaking of Freddy Krueger, which we were before, I was just curious, are there any Halloween movies that you always like to watch around this time of the year, either of you? Anything that sticks
No,
out?
there's nothing I like.
No. There's not really one that comes to mind for me. Although I did just recently watch the first 2 Friday the 13th movies, the original ones, and I was expecting like cheesy 80s horror type, but it was actually a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Not that scary. I don't know, it was back then, but compared to now, but no, it was a really good movie. None for you?
No, I mean, I'm not a real big horror movie fan. I mean, I've watched bits and pieces of the Freddys and the Jasons, and I think the reason that I'm not a big fan of that movie type is because it always just seems like the people that are getting killed and stuff are complete dumbasses. Yeah. There's a lot of things, and not so much with whenever you're talking about Freddy and Jason. Those are full-grown people. Fighting them's a little more different. My biggest thing was Chucky, and
I never saw it.
Oh, that back when I was younger, it scared the shit out of me. Still not a big fan of them, but my problem with Chucky is it's a doll. It's 3 feet high. If you lay a boot into him, he's going flying. Okay, he has a knife. All right. Like I said, he's 3 feet tall. Smother him with a pillow, take the knife out of his hand, and rip him to shreds. Yeah. You know, I just, the whole concept of him going in and killing all these people and stuff, and I guess there were other aspects of it that he sabotaged stuff and he caused their deaths by, that, but I don't know.
Right.
No, I don't have any particular favorite Halloween movies.
All right. Next, Steam digital gift cards are now available. Before you could only buy physical cards to be sent or specific games. So if you're not sure what to get someone, they're a gamer, it's a safe bet. I mean, there are tons of games on Steam. Deathstroke is getting a standalone movie. He's being introduced in the next Batman movie, but he's getting his own movie after that. And Gareth Evans is in talks to direct, and he directed the Raid movies, which I think I saw the first one. Was it the Raid Redemption? Is that the first one?
I don't know.
But I saw that one, and I loved that movie. That's really all he's done, though, for me that I've seen. But, I mean, it was a really good action movie, so sure, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Deathstroke's a really neat-looking character. I don't know much about him. I haven't seen him in the comics or anything. So it'll be interesting how the Batman movie does that he's in. And then from there, I guess that'll be the tell if his solo movie will do good or bad, or what direction they need to take it in order, for it to be successful. So
yeah, all I know about him is I played Arkham Origins, which he was in, and he's a really good martial artist, as good as, if not better than, Batman himself. So I was always interested in that aspect, but other than that, I don't really know much about him. The Walking Dead premiere was this past Sunday, the 100th episode. It starts season 8, called Mercy.
Wah, wah, wah. I read the other day that it did worse. It was the worst viewer count since the premiere of season 3. Yeah, and it
which still, that's not bad for TV. That's bad for The Walking Dead, but I don't know what the number was. What was it like?
For season 3,
yeah,
it was probably like 10 million or something.
Yeah,
but my problem is they've done such an arc.
Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, not really. I'm not going to give too much away with this little snippet that I'm going to say. I don't know what you're going to say, but what I was going to say is that they've gone through such an arc where at the beginning all the moves were cold and calculated and bared heavy weight, and they peaked, and it was really like everything's a matter of life and death, and we need to do this and we need to do that, and and everything made sense in that universe. It made sense, like you had to think this way. If this is presented to you, you have these options. I mean, it was kind of like that, but it's gone back down to where their motives or their things did not make sense. There was some opportunities there for them that would have been just, I mean, without giving anything up, they had opportunities that they didn't capitalize on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if, like I said, if you go from a world where everything's cold and calculated and everything, you would have had this in place as a contingent if he did what he did, and it'd have been done. Mm-hmm. And so it's frustrating seeing where they've gone, and after I was hugely disappointed with season 7, the premiere of season 8 didn't do anything to rekindle my fire for The Walking Dead. And I think it's just sad because, like, I watched Game of Thrones in the time that I quit watching The Walking Dead, in between the seasons. And I know that's a premium show that, that you got to have HBO or HBO Go to watch, but it's so well written and it functions on so many levels, and it's pretty darn consistent across the board that you're hard to find fault with what goes on. And it's frustrating from going from that back to The Walking Dead, where they've gone all crazy. I don't know, it's just frustrating because I really like the show. We really got into it. We always had these gatherings for the premieres and stuff, and they've just lost that luster that they used to have, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I just don't know. I'm at a loss, and it's frustrating because we've seen what this show can do. We've seen it at its best, and I think the problem is now we're seeing this, and it maybe not necessarily be bad, but it's not up to par to some of the other content that they brought us in the past, and you can't go from delivering some huge episodes like they did to a whole disappointing season, and then this, like I said, the opening season premiere of this was just not good. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to spoil some stuff. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. I think it was a little lackluster since they were pushing, episode 100 is going to be huge. I think it would have been just a regular season premiere. I would have been happy with it. But there was one big thing which you were talking about that unfortunately was a big thing for me, was that they had Negan in their sights, and for some reason it wasn't explained if they had a reason or if they just, or what it was, they didn't kill him. And if you watch the episode, they took out 2 of the guards with some... But
I don't know. Looking back at that, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but as a thought, they didn't really... They showed that was on a rooftop. So, okay, they took the shots. They didn't really show if that was right in front where Negan came out or not. But
that's true.
This goes back to what I said. If you were potentially going to draw him out, you would have a sniper in place. You would have somebody, because whenever, and this just blew my mind, because they had Rosita and Sasha. Okay, they were going to snipe him.
Yeah.
So Rosita, who is back at Alexandria, could have said, hey, listen, you're going to go and ambush that. If you want a good sniper spot, post up in this building. Why that didn't happen is so frustrating. And I guess, okay, you got to continue the plot out, I guess. But that's just so stupid in a show where you've made it so much about these are the decisions they have to make, and it's cold and it's calculated, and if you want to live, this is what you got to do. That'd have been it. Right.
Well, yeah, you have to continue the plot, but then don't put him in that position. Have him like talking out the door. Have him send someone else out or something.
Yeah.
So he's not right in your sights, ready to kill. But that was a big thing. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. I was confused as to why they shut out the windows, because whenever they did that. But I did a little reading. Some people were talking about online, and they talked about the broken windows theory, which is a theory that if they did this in New York, I think in the 90s, Giuliani, that if you keep the windows intact, you keep a society intact. And Giuliani really tried to stop small crimes like vandalism, and then the theory is that in turn brings down the rest of the crime, which is a summary of just the theory.
Oh, that's a stretch at best.
Well, and they talked about in the show, whenever Rick got to Alexandria, he talked about it with, remember that girl got her Alice statue broken, and he was like, no, I'm going to find who did this, and she's like, no, it's really not that big of a deal, and he said, well, he talked about the theory, he said if you keep the windows intact, you keep the society intact, so that, it kind of added a little bit to that.
You know what would have made more sense? A bullet in Negan's skull.
Well, yes, I agree.
You can't.
And maybe the only other thing I thought was maybe they're bringing in zombies. Maybe they want to break the windows to try to let some sound out and to force them to be quiet inside. I don't know, but
point number 2. Ammo isn't easy to come by.
Yeah.
They don't have Eugene to make the ammo like he was going to show them. So let's waste hundreds of bullets shooting at glass when we could have hundreds of bullets to shoot into the enemies that we know we have.
I'm fine with they could have had like a few people shoot the windows, but yeah, why everyone turned and shot out the windows, I don't know.
And then Rick, shooting, what? Okay, now you want to kill him. You had a shot on him. You could have killed him. Now you want to kill him, and you're wasting ammo. And then the preacher, who is cold and calculated. Well, why would you try to say? I know that's your thing is to try to save people and stuff, but let him die. I don't know.
I don't know if he thought. I agree with what you both said. I don't know why. They'd have Negan come outside and stand right there, right in range.
Not that far away.
They could have easily shot him. So I agree with what you said, Nick. If they would have had him talk from inside, then they might not have wanted to.
Or like you said, or if they had a good reason to keep him alive. But like you said, then later Rick went and tried to kill him. So it's like, well, obviously they're not trying to keep him alive. But
I just think that like I said, you can't, like in episodes where it was all about, we only have this much ammo, or we have this much food, or we got to conserve, we got guns, we don't have much ammo, and all these things, and then let's just go on a shooting spree. If you're going to lead zombies in there, okay? You blew up the RV, and you blew it up, so you're going all in. If you're going to waste resources like that, you're going to go all in. You're putting key members of your team at risk. You're going for broke there. My thing about the whole, trying to break him down internally and have it fall apart, only carries so much merit. If you can eliminate the threat, and I get what Dwight said about they're all Negan and you got to break them all, but I think if honestly, if you killed Negan, if you came in there and you killed Negan, Negan, and killed him dead to rights, just balls out, here you are, you're dead. I don't think they'd follow.
No, or even better. They could have easily done this, kill Negan and Simon, because Simon could probably take charge and keep the fight going.
Kill all of them.
Well, kill.
You could have had snipers. You could have had multiple snipers up in that vantage point that Sasha and Rosita were at, and you could have easily had 3 snipers up there and taken out, Negan and 2 other people,
Then I agree, and then I think there would have at least been some fighting in that camp. Maybe some people leave, and they're really weakened. But yeah, that was a big thing.
And they didn't even emphasize that size of that walker. There wasn't even it was a big horde, but they really didn't do a good job. Not like in some of those episodes, was it the beginning of season 7 that they had to.
6.
6 was the one that they led all the walkers away from Alexandria. Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah,
that was huge. That was a huge pack, and they made it epic.
Yeah,
way more epic than they portrayed that big zombie pack in this one.
The one shot I liked was when it showed them trapped in the RV and it pulled up. You could see a decent amount, but it didn't seem like as many as that.
Whenever they were zooming out at the very end. Yeah, well, that's too little too late. I mean, The Walking Dead is about the title, The Walking Dead. We've lost track of the whole zombie apocalypse thing and this whole thing that they've really become the backstory to this conflict between two groups. And the whole conflict in itself is nonsense. And, I mean, we could get into that if we wanted to, but my thing is if Rick's group didn't provoke Negan's people, now, I know we talked about this the other night, we went back and forth on it, but body count for body count, Rick's group has more blood on their hands than Negan's group. And you can say, but yeah, they killed Glenn and Abraham. Well, what if they had Glenn and Abraham in their group and they were killed? You know, it's more likely that that was the case because they killed more people. So, I mean, you know, I don't think Negan is a good guy, but I don't think that he's the baddest guy they've faced. I mean, I think, to be honest, that the governor, well, the cannibal people, they were all set in that way, but their leader wasn't any worse than any of the other people. You know, I think the governor was the worst enemy we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, he killed a bunch of people for no reason.
Right. Well, those National Guard people.
Oh yeah, them too.
Yeah, but you got that established early on that he wasn't the person that they thought he was.
Yeah, deep down there was something wrong about him.
And they really made him evil the whole way through. And I think the problem with Negan, the way that they introduced him, at least for me, is it's like, here's Negan, he's going to bash the head in at two people, but you've killed the biker group and you went into that outpost and killed how many people there? So he kills two of yours, or three by the time they kill. I mean, they killed. Did they kill the doctor before they ran to him?
Yeah.
Okay, so they killed her, and then they killed Olivia after the thing. But all in all, I mean, okay, they killed 4 or 5 of your people, Spencer. So they killed 5, and you've killed more than 5, because the biker group alone was 6. So you've already killed more than what they've killed of yours. I don't know, but I mean, it's just.
I think you look at it different ways. Like the biker group, when they first pull up, that's the first contact.
Yeah, they did initiate.
And they were trying to take everything that they had in the truck automatically, and they were going to kill somebody. They said.
Yeah.
It was a confrontation, but and I'm not, like I said, you're right. It could be from both sides, but Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha were very confrontational, as in, this is our stuff, you're not taking it. And at first they were like, we usually kill somebody, but we aren't going to do that. So they're kind of just trying to make them fear. But here's the thing, whenever Rick and them were meeting new people, what'd they do? Interrogated them. How many people have you killed? What'd they do to deserve it? You didn't know what their intentions were whenever they were interrogating you. I mean, we see it from one side, and they try to portray it as that's the right side. I'm simply just saying that if you look at it as a whole, I think that Negan has an argument for doing what he's done to Rick's group, not necessarily the way he treats his own people, like the iron to the face and stuff, but more so how he's handled the situation so far. And keep in mind, if Carl goes into Negan's compound, shoots people, Negan has an opportunity just to kill him. Does he? No. So he's not. They aren't portraying him as a super bad guy. I mean, the governor would have killed him. Like Andrea. Once he found Andrea flipped, what'd he do? He tied her up.
Yeah.
That was it. Game over. And he shot his friend. Left his friend to eat Andrea. So.
Yeah, it's definitely not black and white, which I think is by design. But I don't know. Would it be better if he was just a bad guy? And it was more simple.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm throwing that argument out there, just for sakes. I mean, if you're looking at it from a show standpoint, like I said, then you go back to the whole realistic thing. Okay, if Rick and them, this is the do or die world and stuff, the mistakes they've made in the storyline, like not killing him whenever they've had opportunities, and they've had opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you set up an ambush whenever he first comes in there after he's killed your people? Why wouldn't you have a sniper in the tower then? Why wouldn't you take him out if he shows up? I mean, you would. Well, you would nip that right in the butt.
Well, Rick was beat down by that point, I think.
Wow, that's no excuse. You can't tell me someone else doesn't say, hey, Rick, maybe we should kill this guy if he comes here. No one has the brazen to stand up and say that?
I think Rosita was probably saying that.
And she tried.
Yeah.
She tried.
Yeah.
Far be it from no one else to support her, but that's my thing. And if this is the way society is in the apocalypse, you can't handle it one way all the way up, and then all of a sudden, no, it's time to change, and well, let's just go and waste some bullets and blow up some cars, and because cars can't be readily available, so you blow up your RV,
I was fine with that. You can find another RV.
I just think they're just downplaying everything that was so important early on, like vehicles and fuel and food and bullets and everything else was such a commodity, and now it's being so downplayed. Now going into this 8th season, it just doesn't make sense. It's like it's no longer the apocalypse. It's like, oh, we got some zombies, we're going to use them against these guys, and we're going to spray some bullets, and maybe we'll get them, maybe we won't. I mean, it's just kind of how it seems like they went in there. I don't know.
Yeah, but the rest of the episode, I like the future vision. People talking about whether if that's gonna happen or if it's just a vision. I mean, I'd like to see that future of everyone growing up and happy. I don't think it will happen exactly that way, but I like that vision part of the episode. And the one complaint I saw is that there was a lot to the episode, which I agree with. The first time I watched it, I was kind of confused at some parts. Like, there were a lot of shots of Rick, like the red eye, he's crying somewhere or something. Where is that happening? And
I think there was a lot of filler. That's another bitch I have.
It wasn't.
Why not have the hour episode? You cut out that future part.
Oh, no, I'll take that future part.
Yeah, the future part is.
I'll take any extra.
It has no meaning. If they didn't portray it clear enough. If that's the future that Rick's dreaming of or fighting for, all right. If he's given his speech and they kind of flash in sequences of that future that he sees, then that makes sense. But the way that they did it, and it was all here, there, everywhere.
It was all over the place. Yeah.
It wasn't coherent, and it wasn't clear what they were trying to portray. Whether that was the future that's going to happen, the future he wanted, the future Michonne wanted, the future Carl wanted, the future, what's the baby's name? Judith wanted.
Yeah.
We don't know that because they didn't do a good job of conveying that. My problem is there was too much shit in there to be a coherent episode.
Yeah, and that's a valid thing. The one review I watched and I liked how he said was that for casual viewers it was too much, but I liked it. I like going through and watching again, seeing okay, this is probably happening at this point, and
you shouldn't as a viewer you shouldn't have to go back and watch an episode
to
patch it together. You never had to do that in Game of Thrones.
Well, I never
the writing
cared
on what's that?
No, but that's a plus for me. That's not negative. I love that there's so much in there that I can go back and look at specific scenes and figure out what's going on.
It's still your interpretation of it. You're
right.
Still saying that this is how you envision it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is they should be telling you this is what's going on, or this is what we're trying to say. They shouldn't leave it up to your interpretation.
And I would rather have it left up to me than them saying this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what everyone thinks.
Well, then they should just end the show now, and then you can figure out what goes on at the end.
Come on. That's a big point of this art is leaving it. I guess you don't have to do it that way, but that's one way to do it. And
but that's not how they've been doing the show up until this point. What I'm saying is that.
But I think it's an improvement.
Oh, I think
that's just a personal.
It is a personal preference, but I'm saying as a whole. You watched that first episode and did it make sense? Were you able to...
Generally, I mean, there were some things I was like...
Like the vision of the future. Were you able to tell if that was whose vision of the future that was.
I assumed it was Rick's, but I don't know.
Or
for
if
sure.
it was a real vision of the future, if it was flash forward, or it was just a daydream, or
I don't know.
You know.
And then I don't know that for sure, but that doesn't take it away from me.
But that doesn't add anything to the show either. If they
It
don't,
does to me.
if they don't properly portray it, it doesn't. It just makes it murky.
It added something to me. I mean, it added. I'm excited to see if that's real, if that's what's going to happen, or if it was just a daydream.
But you don't know, and they probably will never make it concrete. They'll probably never ever elaborate on that future. I will wait.
I bet they will.
I will wager money.
I bet we'll see an old man Rick future at some point.
I don't know. I don't think.
We'll find out.
Yep, that's all we can do. All right, of our last part, we have a gummy worm taste test. I attempted to make some gummy candy with some different flavors that you probably
flavors
that you probably won't find at the store.
Oh man!
Here, I'll give you one, Mike, too. You can try.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared.
Oh, you had me up until different flavors.
Oh yeah, they're different flavors.
Take the cheat sheet out.
Take the cheat sheet out. Do you want to guess what they are? Or
I'll guess.
Okay. All right. Here, do you want to pick one at the top there, Mike?
I don't know.
That first flavor. It starts off relatively normal.
I know. I can smell it from here.
From this side?
Yeah. It starts off relatively normal and gets more.
I can tell by the discoloration. That one looks like fecal matter.
Anyways, so.
All right, this.
What is it, Vicks? Vicks.
Vicks? It's not Vicks. Oh, that's awful.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's not my favorite sweetener.
Oh my God!
Sweetness at all.
Don't quit your day job. Oh shit.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Oh, you can't throw it away. You got Nick. You got to power through. I can see.
Get this.
Oh, damn it!
The more I think about it, the worse it gets.
I know. We might need a garbage can now.
Oh, I've got a container to put mine in.
I think I ran out of drink. I gotta go get it.
Hey, will you mind grabbing me a Mountain Dew, Mike? Good Lord.
Oh. That was awful.
That's what I think that, alright.
Oh, frick. Oh, that's.
Ugh. Any idea as to what that was?
I second the Vicks. Thank you.
Oh
man, it's such an aftertaste too.
It's got like the vapor action.
Vapor. That'll clear your sinuses.
Menthol. Menthol. You put menthol in that.
Holy man, cigarette.
That was spearmint.
How much?
Too much.
Apparently. Good Lord.
This wasn't the exact thing. I just kind of guessed as to how much flavoring to put in. But
yeah. Oh. Now I don't even. Now, like, I'm really nervous.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be the good one.
Yeah, if it's going to go downhill from here, we're in for a hell of a ride. We're not going to convince Mike into doing anymore.
I have to remember which one was next. Oh, okay.
Are you going to hand these out for treats at Halloween?
You have a lot of the next one down.
This one?
Yeah.
At least Mike's being playful.
This one, yeah. This one,
what do you call?
I have no idea how much the flavor will come out in this one.
Rubber band?
Not much flavor.
Yeah, at least this is just nothing.
Yeah. Like I said, I kind of guessed as to how to make these, but I know what it is, and I'm trying to taste it. I don't really taste anything.
Rubber band.
Rubber band. Anything on that one?
Tastes like Mountain Dew.
It's Mountain Dew.
It is Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Oh, the other reason I said that is because I drank Mountain Dew right after it.
You're right.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Oh, no.
All right. Next one down.
Cheese. Looks like cheese.
Oh, man. I don't trust the next one down. Again, not a ton of flavor in that one. That's the look.
we need Mike's face on camera on that one.
No.
Yeah. Another bland one. Anything?
No, I'm just glad. I swallowed what I chewed.
That was cheese.
Well, he called it.
Yeah,
It looks like cheese.
It
That's
looks
what I
like
call it.
cheese. Alright, next is
Let's see. Gummy cheese has no root.
next is the orange one.
Yeah, you're supposed to throw gummy cheese out.
Gummy cheese.
How come I didn't take that real thick one?
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll leave that one.
Yeah.
And, well, maybe I'll taste it a little bit, but I know what it is, so. Well, I'm figuring out that
I don't have a clue what that is.
No.
Can't really taste anything.
that one was ketchup.
Oh man, I think I'm
I
grossed
kinda
out by the.
And I put a decent amount of ketchup in it, so you must have to put a lot of stuff.
Oh man,
Okay, this next one should be. It's this one.
it's the turd looking one.
Yeah, I would
Man,
think
is it
this
the-
one would be tasteable.
This one?
Yeah.
One I don't wanna.
We don't want to do any of them. What the hell are you talking about?
All right.
Oh, I can't even get. Oh man, you're an asshole.
Yeah, that's about closest I've been to puking for a long time.
Any idea on a
I'm gonna say
flavor?
Slim Jim.
No. Ugh. It was gross.
They're all gross. What the hell?
You might have had this today to eat already.
I didn't eat shit.
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't?
I can't
Oh, okay,
tell.
never mind. Mike's coming back for seconds.
Yeah, can't tell what it is.
He says, "This is the closest I am to puking." I may have had it today. I'm gonna give it a second chance.
Yeah, it's still close.
It's better
to
on the
puking.
second time.
No, it's
It was soy sauce.
Oh.
Well, last one. I hope we don't taste this one. Last one.
lordy. Which one is it? This?
The one at the very bottom.
This?
Yeah.
This real tiny piece?
Ooh, there's a chunk in that.
Oh! Oh my vomit.
Yeah.
Pretty bland.
No, it has the smell.
Ooh, yeah, you can smell it.
I
Oh.
gotta do back up and smell.
That's weird.
Oh.
I can't
Oh,
smell.
the taste is, or the smell is so strong. But you can't taste it. That's weird. You know what that is?
No.
Do you know what it is?
I don't want to know what it is.
There, I'll let you eat it. I ate my whole thing though.
That was tuna.
Yeah.
You can actually see a chunk in this one.
Oh. Oh, damn it, dude. Tuna?
Tuna.
God, you
Couldn't
never.
taste
This cooking shit has to end.
Well, that one was kind of.
We learned our I thought we learned our lesson after the Mountain Dew Slim Jim pizza combo.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, check that out on our channel.
Oh man,
I told.
I think overall, a lot of them were to me
Pretty
didn't have
bland.
a lot of
The
taste,
smell.
except for the.
The mint was actually flavoring. The rest were just like the product, like ketchup that I put in. So the flavoring one you could was definitely strong, but
oh damn it,
the rest were
dude.
pretty bland. But yeah, I
Nuts.
told you earlier I did order another Japanese candy making kit to do, but
And you can eat that by yourself,
it didn't arrive in
Those are
time.
your
So
or we can have a special guest, Bill, on
Yeah,
as he ate
yeah.
the last Japanese candy I bought, thinking that he would find it as putrid as I did, and he did not. So,
No.
so he's a good contestant for round number 2. Not this guy.
All right. Anything else we didn't cover?
No,
You're
I'm
good?
just trying to not vomit on camera.
All right, that's it for this
Tuna?
week. It was tuna.
Yeah.
I even, because I had a packet of tuna, and I like drained the juice out into the mixture.
Oh, no way!
And it wasn't quite enough, so I took some of the tuna and like held it in, like tried to mix it around it.
Oh my god!
That's it for this week. That was this year's Halloween special. Check out our YouTube channel if you missed out last year's week and you ate some gross candy, or if you just want to listen. It's all on SoundCloud.
Some of that candy wasn't that bad from around the world. That was the candy from around the world. The
Yeah.
gum was good.
The gum was good.
What else did we
have?
have?
What was the other thing?
We had a Japanese stuff.
We had
that
the
was
Japanese.
bad.
That was bad. And then I had my homemade. I forget what I made last
Oh,
year.
you melted all the candy bars together.
Yeah. And it was.
That wasn't that bad either.
Yeah.
Oh man, not as bad as that.
We'll see you for Thanksgiving. We'll see what we do this year.
Yeah.
We might have another pumpkin fest.
Or maybe we could try to make Thanksgiving dinner into a drink.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a happy Halloween.